Have you ever stayed in a room that just felt wrong? Like the air was heavier? Like the shadows moved when you weren't looking? That's what cabin 716 was like. I'll never forget it, even if I want to. It was a 7-day Caribbean cruise I took last September, solo. I needed a break from work and life, and figured being out at sea would do the trick. I booked last minute and got a discounted stateroom. The agent paused when he saw the cabin number but didn't say anything, just handed me the keycard with a weird look on his face. Cabin 716 was midship, deck 7, starboard side. When I opened the door, the first thing that hit me was the smell, not foul, just stale, like someone had been in there for a long time without opening a window. But cruise rooms don't even have real windows, just thick portholes. The cabin was freezing, even though the thermostat was set to 72. I tried raising it, but the air stayed icy. Still, I was tired from travel, so I unpacked, took a shower, and laid down. That night, I had the worst sleep of my life. I kept waking up to the sound of what I thought was someone breathing, not heavy, just present, like someone was in the room with me. At one point, I sat up and looked around. The room was dark, but the porthole let in some moonlight. That's when I saw it, a silhouette, standing in the corner near the closet, perfectly still. My heart went into overdrive. I scrambled for the light, and the second it flicked on, it was gone. I told myself it was the towel hanging weird or my imagination playing tricks. But I knew better. The next day, I asked the room steward if anyone had ever complained about the room. He looked up from his cart and said, "You're in 716? I nodded. His face changed.
He leaned in and whispered, "If anything weird happens, just ask to move rooms, don't wait."
Weird? Like what? He looked over his shoulder, lowered his voice even more, and said,
"Sometimes people hear knocking from the inside of the closet or see things in the mirror. Some even leave after the first night."
That made my stomach turn. I was planning to stay, maybe chalk it all up to nerves. But the second night was worse. I locked the closet door before bed. I know how stupid that sounds, but it made me feel better. Around 3 a.m., I woke up to the distinct sound of the closet door handle jiggling, like someone trying to open it from the inside. I stayed completely still, pretending to be asleep. The sound stopped. Then knock, knock, knock. 3 sharp taps from inside the closet. I bolted out of bed, heart pounding, and turned on every single light. The handle had stopped moving. I slowly approached the closet and unlocked it. Empty. Just my clothes. Nothing else. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next morning, I marched to the guest services desk and demanded to be moved. The woman barely looked up when I gave her the room number. She said, "Let me check availability," and within minutes gave me a new room key without question. When I got to my new room, cabin 1122, I passed another crew member in the hallway and casually said, "Guess I wasn't the first to switch out of 716.
He gave me a sidelong glance and replied, "You'd be surprised how many people don't make it past night 2. I asked him why they even kept it in circulation. He shrugged and said, "Corporate doesn't care unless someone dies in there."
I froze. Wait, has someone? He just walked off. I tried Googling it later, but didn't find anything. Still, I think about that silhouette sometimes, how solid it looked, how it didn't vanish until the light hit it. Something was in that room, watching, waiting. I'll never take another cruise again. Have you ever heard the man overboard alarm on a cruise ship? It's not something most people ever experience. It's rare. And when it goes off, it sends a chill down your spine that you can't explain unless you've lived it. This happened in 2022, on a cruise from Miami to Cozumel. I was traveling with my girlfriend, Kelly, and her 2 friends. We'd been saving up for this trip for months, and everything about it was perfect, at least, until night 3. We were about 300 miles out at sea, no land in sight. It was 2:46 a.m. when the alarm jolted us awake. A shrill tone echoed through the ship's PA system, followed by an automated voice. "Man overboard, starboard side, man overboard." At first, I thought it was a drill, but the ship doesn't run drills at that time, and it wasn't followed by any instructions. We stepped outside onto the balcony of our stateroom and looked out into the black ocean. Searchlights were already sweeping the waves. You could see crew members running down the outer decks, radios crackling. Something real was happening. We stayed up for hours after that. The search continued until sunrise. We later heard through another guest that a passenger had fallen or jumped from deck 11. No one ever found them. The weird thing is, no one ever officially confirmed it. The ship's staff was tight-lipped. The captain made one announcement the next day, just saying they were investigating a security incident and thanking guests for their cooperation. That was it. But that's not where the story ends. That night, the night after the alarm, I couldn't sleep. Around 1 a.m., I stepped out onto the balcony again. The ocean looked endless, just blackness. The air was thick and still, and then I heard it. From the water below, faint, but unmistakable, someone was calling for help. "Help! Help me!" I froze. It was a male voice, weak but clear. I leaned over the railing, scanning the water below. Nothing. I ran back inside and woke Kelly. She came out and listened, but the voice was gone. She thought I was overtired or maybe just shaken from the alarm. But I knew what I heard. The next night, I heard it again. Same time. Same voice. "Help, please." This time, it sounded closer, like it was directly beneath our cabin. I wasn't imagining it. I recorded it on my phone, but when I played it back, there was nothing, just the sound of ocean waves. That morning, I decided to talk to a crew member. I found a steward named Mateo, and I straight up asked, "Has anyone reported hearing voices from the water?"
He didn't answer right away. Just looked down, then said quietly, "You're in 1036, right? That's almost right above where it happened."
I asked him if they ever recovered the body.
He shook his head. "No, and we've had issues ever since."
"What kind of issues?" I asked.
Mateo glanced around, made sure no one was nearby, and whispered, "Some guests in that part of the ship hear voices, always at night, always asking for help. Some even see someone floating in the water, waving. But when they go to report it, he's gone."
I felt sick. We changed rooms that day, but I couldn't stop thinking about the voice. Whoever he was still out there. Or at least, something was. On the last night of the cruise, I was walking back to our room from the buffet. Our new room was on deck 6 when I saw something that still haunts me. The hallway was empty, dimly lit. Ahead of me, I saw a man standing barefoot in a soaked white t-shirt and swim trunks. He was dripping wet, leaving puddles behind him on the carpet. His skin looked pale, his eyes vacant. He was just standing there, staring at the wall. I said, "Hey, are you okay?" But he didn't react. I took one step closer. He slowly turned to look at me. His lips parted like he was about to say something, and then, just like that, he vanished. No fade, no blink, just gone. I screamed and sprinted back to the room. Told Kelly everything. She believed me this time because she'd heard the voice herself the night before. We left a note in the anonymous comment box before disembarking. "Stop booking rooms above the area where the man fell. Someone is still out there." We never got a reply. Of course we didn't, but sometimes, in the middle of the night, I'll wake up with that voice echoing in my ears. "Help, please." You ever see something so out of place it makes your brain stall for a second, like your mind just refuses to process it? That's what happened when I found the door. A door that shouldn't have been there, a door that no one else seemed to see. I was on a transatlantic cruise from Barcelona to Miami. My company had paid for the trip as part of a long service reward. It was a massive ship, 15 decks, theaters, pools, a casino, basically, a floating city. I wasn't planning to do much except read, sleep, and maybe drink too much. It was on the 4th day when I got curious about something. I was reading the deck guide and noticed that deck 13 wasn't listed. It went straight from 12 to 14. Now, I know a lot of buildings skip 13 for superstitious reasons, but on a cruise ship, I figured it was just renumbered or maybe reserved for maintenance. But the weird thing was, the elevator panel did have a button for deck 13 sort of. The numbers were arranged vertically. And between 12 and 14, there was a blank, unlit button. No number. just a black plastic key. I thought it was maybe for crew access, but when I pressed it, nothing happened. No light. The elevator skipped it. Still, I couldn't let it go. Later that night, around 11:30 p.m., I decided to walk down the stairwell instead. I figured maybe I could get a peek at whatever was between those two decks. Deck 12, fine, lights on, guests walking around. Deck 14, normal. But as I stepped between them, I noticed something strange. The landing between the two levels had a narrow side hallway, almost hidden. There was a short metal door, painted black, about 4 feet tall. You had to crouch to get through it. No sign, no handle, just a keyhole. I swear I stood there for 5 full minutes just staring at it. That door wasn't on any map. I decided to take a photo, but my phone froze. Just a black screen. Wouldn't turn on again until I walked back up to deck 14. The next day, I asked a crew member if the ship had a deck 13.
She laughed uncomfortably and said, "Of course not. Most cruise lines avoid it. Bad luck, you know."
I told her I found a door between 12 and 14. Her face changed.
She said, "You probably found a maintenance hatch."
I described the short black door. She didn't respond, just walked away. That night, I couldn't sleep. Around 1 a.m. I went back. The hallway was empty, the lights dimmed for night mode. I took the stairwell back down, and sure enough, there it was. Only now, the door was open, just slightly ajar. A crack wide enough to see a faint red glow coming from inside. I don't know what came over me, but I stepped closer. The air was freezing, like walking into a meat locker. I crouched down and peeked in. It was a narrow hallway, lit by dim red bulbs, sloping downward. I couldn't see the end of it. But I heard something. Breathing. Slow, heavy breathing. Not from the door. From behind me. I whipped around, nothing. The hallway was still empty. I turned back. The door was shut. No sound. No red light. Just a black metal door that now looked completely sealed, like it had never been open. I sprinted out of there and went straight to security. I told them everything: the hidden door, the red hallway, the breathing. They were polite, but I could tell they didn't believe me. Or maybe they did, and just couldn't say anything. When I asked if I could see the ship's blueprints, they flat out said no. The rest of the trip I avoided that part of the ship. But the night before we docked in Miami, I saw something I can't explain. Around 2 a.m., I was sitting out on the deck alone, just watching the water. I looked up toward the center of the ship and saw a figure standing behind a round porthole 2 decks above. I counted the decks. It was exactly where deck 13 would be. The figure didn't move, just stared. Then the porthole slowly fogged up as if something inside was breathing on the glass. I blinked, and it was gone. I left the next day without telling anyone else, but I couldn't stop thinking about that hallway, the red glow, the door that only appeared at night. What's behind it? I don't want to know anymore. But if you're ever on a ship and notice the elevator has a blank button, don't press it, and for the love of God, don't open the door. I didn't believe in ghosts until I went on a cruise with one. It was supposed to be a celebratory trip. My younger sister, Anna, had just graduated, and our parents booked a week-long cruise for the family, me, Anna, and our mom. We boarded the ship in Fort Lauderdale, and were bound for the Bahamas. Everything felt normal the first couple of days. Warm weather, cold drinks, laughter, the perfect escape. But on the third night, I noticed something strange. There was this girl, early 20s, pale, long black hair, who kept showing up in the background. I first saw her at the buffet, standing by the drink station, just staring at the soda machine without taking anything. I figured she was just zoning out. But then I saw her again that same night at the comedy club, seated at the very back, arms folded, eyes locked on the stage, not laughing, not smiling, just watching. Still, nothing weird. Until Anna noticed her too. We were lying out on deck 10 the next afternoon, soaking up the sun, when Anna leaned over and whispered, "That girl is following us." I looked up, confused. She nodded subtly toward the poolside bar. She was behind us in line earlier, then again at the elevator, now here. It was the same girl, pale, expressionless. wearing a gray hoodie and jeans despite the heat. She wasn't drinking. She wasn't with anyone, just standing behind a lifeguard chair, staring directly at us. That night, Anna asked Mom if she'd seen her, too. Mom said no, but her face darkened when we described the girl. She sounds like someone I used to know, Mom said, avoiding eye contact. We tried to shrug it off, but it got worse. The next day, we went down to the photo gallery, the place where they hang up candid pictures taken by cruise photographers. There were rows and rows of pictures of people smiling, dancing, eating, all with that glossy cruise lighting. But in 3 separate photos of us, the girl was in the background, not standing, leaning. In one photo, she was behind Anna, leaning into frame with her face half visible. In another, she was crouched behind a table near where we sat, her eyes pointed straight at the lens. And in the third one, she was standing directly behind me, a faint grin on her face. We hadn't seen her in any of those moments, not once. It was like she was invisible until the photos were developed. We brought the photos to the guest services desk and asked who she was. The crew member scanned the barcodes and checked the passenger registry.
Then he said something that chilled me. There's no one on board by that name, and she doesn't appear in the facial recognition system.
But she's in these photos, I said, holding them out.
He just nodded. Sometimes strange images show up.
I asked what that meant. He wouldn't explain. That night, Anna woke me up around 3 a.m., shaking. She was in our room. What? She was standing over you while you slept. I sat up, panicked. The lights were off. I scrambled for the switch. Nothing. The power was out. The room was ice cold. And from the corner, we both heard it, a soft, gurgling breath. Anna screamed. I grabbed the flashlight from the nightstand and flicked it on. The beam hit the wall. Then the corner. Empty. No one there. The lights came back on a few seconds later. We called security. They did a full sweep. Nothing. After that, we refused to sleep with the lights off. Mom didn't believe us, or said she didn't, but she started locking her cabin door at night after that. On the last day of the cruise, we were docked back in Fort Lauderdale, waiting to disembark. Anna and I were standing on the balcony, watching the crew move luggage onto the dock. That's when we saw her again. She was standing behind the glass door of a crew-only exit, just inside the ship. Her face was pressed to the glass, that same blank expression. No crew members acknowledged her. No one walked by her. And then, right before our eyes, she turned and walked back into the darkness of the ship. We left without saying anything to anyone. A few weeks later, Anna got curious and started digging online. She found a forum thread from 3 years earlier, someone asking if anyone else had seen a girl on that same ship. The description was identical. Dozens of replies followed, people describing a pale woman who appeared in photos, stared from doorways, or stood in cabins at night. No one knew her name. No one ever found a record of her being a guest. They just called her the passenger who wasn't there.